Hey people, 45 Moma here for another Katakyo Hitman Reborn chapter review. Target 366, the second day of the battle begins. And wow, this chapter was a pure epicness, and it proves my point with Team Verde that these guys are not just top tier, they are trolls. This chapter proved that they were trolls. Like, they were thinking smart here, and I really liked it. This chapter was still intense, and like wow. And the end chapter was beast, very beast, and it proves another point that I was discussing with another user yesterday on Skype. I won't say his name, but he knows who he is. Anyways, the chapter starts off with pretty much Suna and Byakuran starting their battle with 24 minutes remaining in 30 seconds. 24 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. Plenty of time still. So pretty much they're looking around wondering like pretty much when the enemy is gonna attack. Suna then talks to Byakuran and asks you that he didn't suspect that he would be fighting with him again. Because Byakuran in their timeline was pretty ruthless and counting countless people, yet now all of a sudden he's helping Uni of the situation. Which brings up the question that was answered in the future arc when Uni said to Suna early on in the future arc. If you guys remember, early in the at the final moments of the future arc, like before the fight of the future arc, Uni stated that Suna and Byakuran were similar in a way. Well, we find out why they're so similar. Apparently, when danger's not around, they seem to be pretty useless. But when there is danger, that's their time. That's when their time to shine. That's when their time to. That's when their time comes, and when they can shine the brightest. Apparently, I don't know what that means, but that's pretty much what it means. It was even stated that in one of the earlier games when Byakuran broke the rules, is that when Suna, you remember Choice, right? When Suna was pretty much when Byakuran broke the rules in Choice and manipulated everything. During that time is when pretty much it's pretty much when they can see their understanding. Now, during that time, to be honest, it seemed that Suna was fighting purely for the sake of his friends. Now, that's understandable. And now, Byakuran wants to do the same thing for Uni, fighting for her sake. This is all facts right here. This chapter proves that facts, black and white. This question was stated before early on the future arc, and we are getting these questions answered, black and white, right there. Facts. It is facts. Now, right after the discussion, Bluebell states that all the what you call poles, like the telephone poles, have multiplied. That means illusions have been invoked, but yet these illusions do not produce flames. So that states that means then pretty much that Verde's machine allows no flames to be created. So pretty much, Flynn comes right out of a car and then starts creating missiles, and these missiles attack from every direction, pretty much not destroying the mansion, but causing a huge explosion and impact. Goku, Yamamoto, Zuraku, and Kikyo are able to block that. Now they had to find a way to pretty much counter the attack, because they know Team Verde was there, pretty much have already arrived, because they're the only team that would use illusions like that. Now, this is what they don't get. Like, how does Verde able to have illusions created without flames being fused? Because if I remember, in KHR's world, you need to use dying will flames to create illusions. So I'm wondering, what did Verde use for something like that? That's like, it's really questionable. Like that with Verde. Like, whoa, Verde, what'd you make, man? Like, what did you do? What did you do to beef up these guys? Okay, one thing that I really enjoyed in this chapter was the complete trolling of Mokuro. His troll. You could see that this dude was trolling like crazy, especially Flynn. Flynn was trolling like crazy. Now, pretty much, why was he trolling? Because when Zuraku and Kikyo arrived at where the battle were getting ready to fight, Zuraku shows his new box of carnage, external box of carnage. So it's no longer in his chest anymore. It's a box weapon. Now, when Kikyo tries to tell him to not rush through, Zaraku was not thinking and did not realize that Kikyo was actually Mokuro. So in a way, Amano just fucking trolled Zaraku. She trolled him. Trolled up the ass. Like she trolled up the ass. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, you trolled Zaraku and like at one go, and he was getting ready to battle, but he got trolled and tossed aside. Not because he was not too weak, but because he fell for a trick. So this dude here got tossed aside, backlash. He was so pissed off. Like I could see the end. He was so pissed off that he didn't get a chance to use his ability. He was so pissed off that that Tsunomichi guy came and told him the rules that once your watch is destroyed, you can't fight anymore. Therefore, if you try to attack someone with the boss watch or any watch, your team is disqualified. So he got pissed off and like and couldn't do anything. So I was like, so Raku, my man, you lost a little bit of your senses, man. Like, dude, you gotta get back to your senses. But turns out that Tsunomichi was actually Flynn in disguise. The real Tsunomichi was like, well, he was gonna tell them that himself. So now we're down to pretty much Bluebell, Nozaru, Gamma, and Kikyo. Now, the only people in that team that can actually do shit to me are Kikyo and pretty much we call Gamma, because Bluebell and we call Nozaru are too young, and to me they're too inexperienced. So pretty much the only beast people that can actually do damage is Kikyo and Gamma, and that's just two people. Team Uni is losing so much guys right here. They have the most guys, and now they have the least amount of guys, all because of Mokuro's trolling. Now Suna gets by and tries to fight Mokuro, but the thing is, Mokuro can see in his eyes that yesterday's fight really bothered Suna. So Suna couldn't fight properly, and that kind of pissed Suna off when pretty much Mokuro was like egging him on. Oh, I forgot to mention, before the fight started, my boy Byakuran is like a freaking it's like trigger happy. I'm sorry, Byakuran is trigger happy. This dude is like trigger happy. Like just the normal van, and he just poof, white dragon, bang, blows that van up, and a bystander gets set on fire. Like he's running like burned and shit. I'm like, whoa, Byakuran, man, you trigger happy, dude. You trigger happy. That's beastly. You trigger happy. I'm like I'm telling you, people, like these guys are strong, but they're getting trolled. This was a good kind of troll, because Mokuro was thinking a very smart tactician way. Like, why fight a full strength battle while your opponents are fighting a full strength battle? You can easily sneak up with your illusions and destroy their watch. That's a no-brainer. It's very intelligent, smart strategy. Now, pretty much like during that part, that's when Ken and Jakusa arrived to help out in the battle, and then pretty much like Gamma blocks blocks Ken's attack. Then Kikyo is getting ready to use his box of Ken to take care of Zaraku. Apparently, his strong box of cards is open, and Kikyo just goes ape shit here, man. This guy goes ape shit. If you remember his box of cards, his Spinosauruses, these Spinosauruses got an upgrade. Like, I'm like, wow. Like, this is actually a good. I'm saying this from the heart. Like, wow. This is like, you can see. Look at that. Like, those Spinosauruses are getting ready to tear shit up, and they were starting to tear shit up. Then like you see Flynn like being like now you see like I like what Yamamoto here said. He is glad that they're on their side, and they should be glad. Now like Flynn's like nothing. Spinosaurus is okay. I got missiles. Let's see who's strongest. Your Spinosaurus or my fucking missiles, man. And, like he starts throwing missiles, and then Spinosaurus and missiles go ape shit. You see Spinosaurus fighting missiles. You see missiles destroying Spinosaurus. You see missiles like we call attacking Spinosaurus. This is crazy. And like to top it all off, during this confusion, one lone Arcabaleno takes that advantage and gets ready to like say, okay, let's say this Arcabaleno says, "Fuck you to alliances, fuck you to like working with Reborn. I'm just gonna attack them all in one go." Then Arcabaleno fires all of these precursors at multiple targets from distance of 5,000, wind speed 2R, adjustments 3.6 adjustment. That's a if you know, okay, if you took in math, then you know exactly. He's firing from a far distance and adjusting his angle perfectly right at the center. 3.6 is like right at the center. So you know, and pretty much he's locked on. This guy is locked on to Suna, Mokuro, Byakuran, Gokudera, Yamamoto, Gamma, Ken, Jakusa, Flynn, and Kikyo. You can see that this person right now is locked down, and he states himself, and I quote, "I can destroy all the boss watches in one go." Who is that Arcabaleno? Not other than the fucking Arcabaleno of Team Colonnello. Colonnello. You see? I knew it. That person. I told you. Team Colonnello, the only reason, I said this, I didn't say this in my reviews, but I said this in Skype. The only reason Team Colonnello, we call allied with Team Reborn, was so that they can get Team Union and them together at one spot to close them in a box. So they cannot escape. What I didn't suspect was, well, I don't know if it was, I actually didn't suspect it because I actually thought they were assuming Makuro's group was coming. So I assumed that Mokuro was somewhere else, but I didn't suspect him coming to Suna's group, you know? I thought the more expected thing was the least expected thing, if you know what I mean. Now, we pretty much, fucking Colonnello is taking a huge, is digging smart. He's being beastly ass, man. With it looks like a Hydra cannon he's firing here. Like a 45 kilometer Hydra cannon to me. What you call recoil. And it looks like there's some stuff connected to him. That must use his flame. This is like a one-shot go. If he fires this, he cannot. He fires this, he can't do anything else anymore. If he fires this, he can't do anything else. He'll be using up all his, like, with all this, Colonnello's ability is gone. Yeah, because to me, Colonnello is the type of person that bang, one shot over. Then like pretty much. So once he fires this, he'll go back to being a baby. But that's good because Colonnello's good. What makes Colonnello is that one blast shot. That's all he needs. That one blast shot. So pretty much like, locked on. Precursors, people, precursors. Those precursors are locked on to everybody. He just said, "Fuck you" to Team Reborn. He's gonna, that's smart. Team Colonnello smart. That was a good strategy right there. Boxing them in while he's firing from a distance, that's smart. That's really intelligent. That's really, really smart. Props there. This was a good chapter. I really loved it. That was beast. Okay, you know what? I'm calling this chapter, Mokuro is a troll, Colonnello is smart. No, Colonnello is beast. I'm gonna call it that chapter. This chapter gets 20 out of 20. This was an awesome chapter. Great chapter there, Amano. You're awesome. The second day is really awesome right now. This is 45 moment, and I'm taking off.